Hello, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Dota 2 Chinese qualifiers. Here we've got DK versus Vici Gaming, and it was a pretty awesome game for Vici. They brought out the Tusk, they did some amazing things with it, and they were able to actually take a lineup that I felt that was very mid to late game centric, and were able to actually push the envelope and bring it to the early game, since they were up against a Tricore. The Tricore aspect of the DK lineup makes it so that you don't really want to let them get to 45 plus minutes, because then they kind of get those core items up and they become that much more scary. So they pushed when they knew they had a comparative advantage, and rather than when they felt their lineup would be ideal, and it ends up working out really well. They take a series of dominating fights, some really good black holes from FY, and just in general great play from Vici Gaming. So now we're going into game 2. We're looking at the second game of this two-game series, so this is going to be concluding it here, whether DK can get 1 point here in the group stage against Vici, or if they're going to get absolutely nothing. They're going with a kind of a similar opener here. We're going to see Phantom Lancer and Lion in their hands once again, but we'll take a look and see the Earthshaker Shadow Fiend opener coming in from Vici. So, banning out the Ancient Apparition, Wisp, and Broodmother. Banning out the Undying, the Bounty Hunter, the Phoenix. Interesting to see a first ban Bounty Hunter from Vici Gaming. I wonder if that actually tells us anything, or if they're just kind of filling a ban slot. It's interesting. It definitely is. But the Brood will be banned out, nevertheless. Ice won't have that option, but he's showing so much versatility. I think it's more interesting to see more people pick up different heroes in that context, but so we're going to be seeing the Visage ban come out too, and I think that's very respectable. I mean, Earthshaker is a melee hero as opposed to like running a Vengeful Spirit or any other kind of ranged lane controller to run a Drow Visage lineup, but I still feel like if you have 4 ranged heroes and 1 strength melee that just happens to control fights really well, then you're still really getting the value out of that precision aura. So I could absolutely have seen a Visage Drow lineup working here, and I think that that's going to be a much more common ban from most teams in China in the future against Vici Gaming for Phase 2. Banning out Broodmother and Visage takes out the Drow strats, takes out the just offlane rat strats. And although it does leave a lot in the pool for Vici Gaming, it takes out 2 of those most overwhelming strategies. Anyways, Phoenix was banned out. The offlane now, they got to be a little bit worried about what they're going to pick up. I think they might actually go for like an offlane ban into an offlane pick, so they can secure Ice the offlane advantage and feel pretty good about that. He has played Earthshaker before, but I think that they have plans for support Earthshaker. And we're going to see the Queen of Pain banned out, actually. So I guess that's a multi-core ban. She could be mid, could be offlane. They ban her out. And they definitely don't want to deal with it for Shadow Fiend mid. They don't want to babysit Shadow Fiend constantly. And Queen of Pain's that hero that harasses, like, every 30 seconds she's going to be on top of you. At least putting out some good right clicks and Shadow Strike damage. Alright.
Seconds remaining.
So we're going to be looking at Phase 2 in the draft here. I mean, really, just kind of, they have already their blanket heroes in place, the ones that they kind of want to build their draft around. They can go so many different directions with this. I would like kind of the negative armor idea for Vici Gaming. They could go for any kind of physical damage dealers that accompany the presence of the Dark Lord. Maybe go for the Vengeful Spirit, get that Wave of Terror out, and just go for some good raw right click. I think that would be pretty strong. Vengeful Spirit Gyrocopter seems to be kind of the way they want to play this, I think. They've got Shadow Fiend Earthshaker, they love House Gyrocopter, but they're going to go for ISS's offline. They're going to go for the Elder Titan. And it's been a long, long time since I've seen ISS's Elder Titan, but it was some of the best. Like, No Tail definitely in the West brought the best support Elder Titan. But in terms of best offlane Elder Titan, I'd have to throw my bid in for Ice. He played such a good game on those ETs. I mean, like, he went for Dagon often as his, like, first item, and although he didn't max it or anything, it definitely was the item that worked really well with the max natural order. So, yeah, I think that Elder Titan has some viability still in this patch. I mean, he always has, and with the right lineup, you can do some tremendous work. And again, it's back down to negative armor. Phantom Lancer's an agility hero. He builds up agi quickly. He builds stat items. So you take that natural agility away, and he's going to be very frustrated. This will be offset a little bit if they go for that Vladimir's Offering build that we were seeing before, since that's 5 green armor instead of white armor. The difference there being the Elder Titan takes everything natural away, and it leaves all that bonus artificial stuff like the Vladimir's Aura. So you kind of want your Vlad's AC type carriers against Elder Titan when you're worried about your armor. Another answer is Sven. I think Sven could be really good here. If they want to run kind of a dual core again, they could run like Sven and a support, and then Lion and a Phantom Lancer or something like that, and they could really buff up their effective HP. I think that would be really strong. So I would like to see Sven here. Lone Druid's not too bad either. Just both of them having a lot of natural bonus armor. But there were some buffs on Elder Titan, and since I haven't seen them yet, I'll go ahead and run through those real quick. For the 6.84 patch, I know the Spirit cooldown was altered, and that's really nice, but here we are. Echo Stomp channel time from 1.8 to 1.6, so a lot easier to get that spell off and a lot harder to dodge it. And then, of course, the Echo Stomp cooldown was reduced from 15 to scaling from 14 down to 11. So an 11-second cooldown on Echo Stomp. And, of course, it has a max duration of 5 seconds. So you can have nearly a 50% uptime on that. Like, you're looking at 40-something, 42, somewhere in there. Pretty good, pretty good. They're combining it up with Pugna, actually. So it's not just going to be a physical AoE negative armor strat like I thought it might be. Elder Titan Shadow Fiend implied that to me with the 2 auras, but now they go with the Pugna. And I'm curious to see exactly what role they're going to put Pugna in. I feel like he still kind of has to be a core farmer, at least a 2 position, if not a 1 position. But I keep on hearing Dakota, Coddle Guy, talking about support Pugna, and I guess I have to say, why not? So maybe that's something that we could see. But I think it is going to be a 1 position, How on the Pugna, Super on the Shadow Fiend, Ice on the Elder Titan, and then we'll see for their last support. That's just my 2 cents, but we'll have to see. It's a new brand of tempo lineup, though. I really think that this can be a lineup that breaks down towers so very quickly with the Nether Blast onto the towers, knocking those down pretty quickly, and building up the mechanism on Shadow Fiend. These heroes could all be online within like the first, honestly, like 12 minutes of the game. They could start pushing at 12 minutes as 4 or 5. But we are going to see the ultimate turtle hero come out here. Sniper is going to hit the field. Old favorite that all of you guys know and love. But no, in this case, I like it and I hate it at the same time. I like the aspect that he can turtle and hold his high ground really well, but he actually isn't the best at slow siege, dealing with slow siege heroes. If Pugna just every single creep wave drops a Nether Blast, this shrapnel time is now at a recharge time of 55 seconds. So every creep wave, Pugna, if he sees the shrapnel, he backs off. If he doesn't see a shrapnel, he Nether Blasts the tower. And any time that you actually try to commit to the fight, to actually punish him for that, Elder Titan's going to be right behind him with his big Echo Stomp Earth Splitter initiation in the choke point that is your base's ramp. So I really feel like Pugna, Elder Titan are the base breakers, and Sniper, Phantom Lancer are not going to have enough time to come online. At least that's just generally the vibe that I'm going to get the feel for this game, but we are going to be seeing another interesting pick here. Nature's Prophet coming out from Vici Gaming. It looks like they're just going full experimental on this one. 3 out of 5 heroes are ones that we have not seen almost at all in 6.84. I haven't seen them personally, and I feel like I've cast about a third of the 6.84 games so far. I've been casting a ton these past week or so, so I would have to say that these guys haven't been picked more than a couple of times each. And we'll see. All of them got considerable buffs. All of them are really high potential, but let's see how this breaks down. Ice is on the Elder Titan. Is this a support Nature's Prophet then? Yeah, How, Shadow Fiend, Super Pugna, and we're going to be seeing Nature's Prophet jungle support. Now, one really cool aspect of the Nature's Prophet that I would have to say is he got a crazy buff to his Sprout. I know nobody talks about Sprouts. Everybody talks about the Treants. And Treant base damage from 22 to 28 is already an overwhelmingly powerful buff. Like, that's his bread and butter, pushing down towers with his trees. So the fact that they're that much stronger, that's an extra 6 damage, which is almost a third. It's like I think about a 30% increase. Is just, it's insane. But that being said, I think for the utility of like a supportive Nature's Prophet, we could actually be talking about Sprout a little bit more. Sprout's cast range increased to scale up to 850 as you max it out, and it actually goes up to a duration of 6 full seconds. 6-second duration on an 8-second cooldown. If you're not cutting through those trees, you're getting caught and you're getting killed, and only really the Phantom Lancer is going to want to buy a Quelling Blade here. So I really think that although a lot of people talk about Nature's Call and the new Aghanims effect, and that's all cool and that's all good for him, his jungle time was increased dramatically with these treants doing that much more damage, and I really think this new Sprout is going to be worth maxing. I mean, it's just ridiculous how much you're going to force them to chew through. In fact, 8 Tango's already on Leonly here. But let's go ahead, before we see a potential level 1 clash come through, go for some quick introductions. Thank you guys once again for tuning in to iLeague here, the Chinese qualifiers. We've got Vici Gaming versus DK. On the Radiant side, we've got Vici Gaming. FY will be running the Nature's Prophet Null Talisman start. Oh, we might see that clash. I mean, they've got the shrapnel on the choke point, but looks like they don't want to fight in this area. So, anyway, Super is on the Pugna. Going to be going for a very stats-oriented build to get his bottle out. But Hao is going to be the one to pick up the Bounty Rune and go to the mid on the Shadow Fiend. So, Hao Shadow Fiend mid, Super safe lane Pugna. The lanes are staying the same. The heroes that I thought they'd be on are switching up a little bit here. Anyways, we've got Ice 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 with his Enchanted Mango go into the top lane with 3 Clarities as well. He's on the Elder Titan, and he's going to be pushing back the waves up top quite frequently and gaining some good levels since it looks like it might be a 1v1 for him. We're going to be seeing Fenrir on the Earthshaker. He's going to be going down bottom, trying to see what he can do to keep Super alive and well. And that leaves the kind of greedy pickup of the Nature's Prophet to jungle on the western side of the Radiant. So that means there's a 2 versus 3 down bottom. We're going to see some pressure come out here. Spirit Lance connects, but what a good Fisher from Fenrir. Splitting things up perfectly. We're going to see the Earth Spike come out just out of spite, but look at Lion has taken so much damage, has to tango through, and he drops down very heavily. But Pugna now taking the brunt of the assault, and he is barely going to walk out. The last right click from Han is just out of range. That's the movement speed of the Pugna there. The Lina may have an insane attack range, but Pugna has 320 base movement speed. That's a 25 MS advantage without boots. Wow. But still, really good pressure being put out on Super. He only brought Tangos to the lane, so it's going to take a long time for him to build that back up. Nether Blast could actually kill off Lion here. Lion walking right into it for the first blood. It will trade it for Super, but I still think Super is pretty happy for that. He volunteered his position there. He's going to get full HP and full mana and be able to TP immediately back to the lane with 500 gold in pocket. He'll buy his boots. Like, Lion walking into the Nether Blast seems like a huge misplay to me, but as it is, it's just 3v2, giving the first blood to Pugna, and he's got his movement speed up now. 370 MS now versus like the 295. Like, this Pugna's going to be able to just run circles around these guys and always get in range for that ever-important Nether Blast. I feel like Pugna's laning phase was actually a little bit nerfed in the patch. He got some interesting changes to the Decrepify. The duration is now always the same level. It is now, as you can see, catching out Han a little bit here. They're going to get another blast on him. I don't think they're going to get a kill, but you never know. We're going to see some good damage going out back and forth between the two. Fenrir taking some hits. Low armor, only 3, getting the slows against him, and the last right click comes through. So they will lose the Earthshaker, and Super's now in a bad spot. You may be fast, but you're very, very squishy. And one more Spirit Lance will do the trick. Boom! They take him down. A double kill now for Black Z. And this Tri-Land is starting to work out as intended. Of course, this is in exchange for giving FY free farm in the jungle. They didn't block up any, but only one camp. They blocked the whole camp, and that's all. So FY is doing really well for himself over on the western side. 10 last hits for him. Let's check out the solo lanes while we have a brief moment here. Hao going up against the Sniper here. Sniper only has 3 and 3. That damage nerf really hurting him. He can't do much here in the laning phase against the Shadow Fiend, who's now 11 and 11 with all those Necromastery. FY going for the attempt onto the Black's life. They have a lot of movement speed here. They get the Fisher, and down he goes. Good rotation from FY in. Just teleporting in. No Sprout, no need. They'll just be able to right-click him down with one good stun. In the meantime, though, we'll look up top. Ice 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 dueling out with the Invoker, and this is a much more skewed matchup. Invoker has a huge advantage here with the phase boots already online. 18 and 5 on last hits. Ice 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 only at 13 and 1. So that's going to be important. we're going to see a lot of momentum for this Invoker this time around, rather than him being kind of stifled previously. In fact, he's topping out net worth along with that Phantom Lancer since he got the double kill. But still, I mean, Necromastery at 22 stacks for How on the Shadow Fiend looking pretty good. FY actually going to get caught out here. He has the Sprout, but just going to keep his distance here. Fenrir's got him covered. And they do have this Observer Ward. They kind of reveal it with that right click, but even still, they're just very emphatic about trying to dominate this part of the map, and we're going to see them kind of make their movement this way. So DK just kind of reforming the tri lane back to the laning phase, and we'll see Super with the Nether Ward on the backside. So it's 2-1-1, probably going to go into max Nether Blast build. Seems pretty standard. And yeah, I do feel like his early Decrepify is a little bit weaker, because the enemy increased magic damage isn't as strong at only 30%. It does last a whole 3.5 seconds, but level 1 Decrepify, if you used your Nether Blast well enough, you could still connect it for that full amplification. But we're going to see FY head off Lina. She's got the Like Striker ready to break herself out of the trees, but she doesn't really want to go that way. Doesn't want to go anyway. Not into the Hasted Shadow Fiend, not into the Fissure, but the end result is her demise no matter what way she chooses. And we're going to see the Soul Ring come out for Ice Ice Ice. This is going to help him out a lot here, because he can actually spam out his Spirit. He can put it out on the Kobolds to micro it to the lane and get all of that bonus damage from all those creeps. That's actually a really good tool for him to get control back over the lane, and he'll pick it up here at the side chop. So Ice Ice, he's looking bad right now. He's got a tremendous disadvantage, 15 CS behind, but I really feel like he can bring it back with the Soul Ring. But we'll see if they're left to their 1v1 devices, because obviously there's going to be action all across the map. The Phantom Lancer pressured under tower here, and damn. Arcane Boots coming out for Super. I'm curious if he goes for Guardian Greaves this game. I think Guardian Greaves is actually pretty strong on Pugna. He needs mana, but he loves that all those bonuses. FY's going to get caught out, though. Double stun against him. It should be his death. Last right click comes through. And that is going to be a Nature's Prophet going down. But nice Nether Blast coming out. And the Nether Ward as well. Pugna doing some good work here, but now being pursued by the Phantom Lancer. If not for that stun, Lina might have fallen. But now it's going to be Black to finish off the Super with that Lance. The Magic Wand is insufficient. And he topples away from the Razes. Now he'll run to the west, pop the Salve. And it looks like Black.Z is going to be just fine. We'll have to see. FY's not looking to head him off. FY's looking to farm bottom, push bottom. And that's going to be a wild goose chase here from the Phantom Lancer. He's got Doppel back up. He's got space created for himself. And everybody's just fine. I was actually curious if FY would have considered going for like a behind-the-back TP, trying to clean up those low HP heroes. I mean, the Lina was only one hit from death, but hard to read the situation, know where you're teleporting into, and not get chain stunned out. Could have wasted a lot of time doing that. But yeah, I really feel like the Phantom Lancer is countering the Pugna pretty hard here. We're going to see him doppel forward, look for the next Lance. I think he's just got a free kill here. Super. Not tanky enough to withstand, and the Magic Stick definitely is insufficient. You have to understand that although you went for this movement speed build, 375 by rushing the Arcane Boots, the movement speed doesn't really matter that much to the Phantom Lancer. He gets this Phantom Rush anyways. He's able to close the distance. As long as he gets 2 Lances off, that's a huge chunk of your HP. And in this case, I mean, doing 400 magical damage over 2 Lances, a few extra right clicks from your illusions as well as yourself, yeah, you're going to get a pretty clean kill. We're seeing a single Earth Spike onto Fenrir. Good damage from DK, but Fenrir getting hexed out at the last second, can't return, and gets the Fissure out. It actually stuns out the Lina, survives, and sets up damage onto the Lion. FY has the teleport, looking to head him off. He needs to find where he's going first. And now that they kind of cornered him, they're going to be able to bring him down, and that is putting the kill score at 5-6 here in favor of DK. Where's Ice 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 though? I heard him teleport down. He's making his move now down to bottom lane. Very active lane, so it makes sense for him to get involved. But look at his skill build. It's really interesting. A 0-4-3 build for this Elder Titan. How? Out of his doesn't have his E-Rays. Does have his 2 closer ones, but is not able to punish Phantom Lancer's aggression there. But Ice Ice Ice, I mean, he's got a 044 build, doesn't care about his Echo Stomp at all. Echo Stomp was what got buffed on the hero, but he's like, nah, I like Astral Spirit. And I obviously it's a very powerful like counter push tool and kind of a siege tool as well. If you can afford to max this out, it's really nice. But the reason that the support Elder Titan was so strong is because the way the natural order scaling shifted. They changed it to 40% reduction at the lowest rank, and that meant that a lot of teams were just putting 1 or 2 points into this ability to find a lot of value in it and still went for the Echo Stomp. Here, Ice is all about the damage but brings no utility, and they're going to have to rely on things like the Decrepify, the Sprout, Fissure, all those kinds of cooldowns to kind of lock people in. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to control the fights. But we've had last hits up for long enough. We'll take one last look at them and say 63 for 22. Let's 290 up top on the Invoker pick up his Hand of Midas. Obviously, Hao has farmed up pretty well in the mid lane against the Sniper. 47 and 19 over Sniper's 33 and 9. And FY has found 45 last hits for himself. Maybe a little bit from Nature's Call, but a lot from the jungle. And that puts net worth at pretty predictable position. So looking over at net worth before we see the next fight break out, or that might not take too long. Fissure is going to set up a lot of damage here onto the Sniper. He's already decrepit. He's caught in. The Fissure, the Nether Blast, the Raise, and down he goes. So good combo there coming in from Vici Gaming. Just moving in from the smoke and making the play happen. Now we see the Invoker missing the Tornado, the EMP, but the Cold Snap will keep Hal on the high ground long enough for them to bring him down. And no Decrepify from Super. Maybe could have saved his ally there, but no. We see him getting nuked down instead. He will go down to Lena's Light Strike Array, and now Fenrir is in retreat. So I kind of feel maybe Echo Stomp could have helped that situation a little bit, but it's hard to read. It definitely isn't the easiest, but I'm just kind of looking at his skill build now, and what do you go next? Do you go for your ultimate next, Earth Splitter? Do you go for Echo Stomp? Like, either way, you're going to be missing something until level 10. That's kind of awkward.
Money changes hands.
But it's Ice's farming build as it is, and he does find himself at 3,000 net worth. That's 5th on the charts, right up there with the Sniper. So looking at overall net worth, it's kind of zigzagging across stuff. No more than a 700 gold advantage for either team. It's been a really close game, and now it's back down to 0 once again. Experience heading the way of DK though. They're kind of, for the first time, getting a nice boost of levels there. The aggro try really hurts them, as well as going up against a jungler. FY getting the extra source of income, it allows them to kind of go for just that much more in terms of solo experience. He finds himself at level 8. And DK, they committed 3 heroes to a tri-lane, and that spreads that experience just a little bit too thin. But look at this. Early items coming out. I'll get to the big one in a second. But we got the Eul Scepter coming out for Hao. We've got the Vladimir's presumably coming out for RPL. He'll just disassemble the Ring of Aquila. And that's about it. We do see the Smoke King coming through, but the big item I want to talk about here is on the Nature's Prophet. Goes Midas, no Talisman, Boots into a point booster, and I believe that is going to be the Aghanim Scepter. If he last hits any creeps with this Aghanim Scepter, he spawns a new Treant. If he kills a hero with it, he gets a triple value Treant. And these things can do some real work. He could just push in at all angles. Now, it might be good for DK to farm these trees. I'm not sure how much gold you're actually going to be giving the other way if they get that opportunity. But in general, it seems like a really good tool to put out global presence and pressure, and that's what the Nature's Prophet is all about. So we'll see just how strong that ability is pretty soon.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So Fenrir is kind of cornered in under his tower here. Leonli is pushing pretty hard onto it. And he is going to be able to get another Lance out on Fenrir to set up the Tornado EMP. That's a dead Earthshaker, and that should be the Tier 1 tower. Super should look to fall back, but they've got Hao with the Invis Rune, and as far as I can tell, there's no detection. Looking for the Requiem. It's a level 1 Requiem, but right in the mix of things, they hit out of everybody. Ice amps up that damage. Black Sea doppels away. They get the Nether Ward down, so there's no return spells, and everybody's in retreat. They killed off the Lion. They killed off the Lina. One Invis Rune changes everything, and they are able to not only hold the tower, but get a couple of incredible kills in return. Vici Gaming doing work. Up top, FY in the meantime, taking advantage of that space created to go for that Tier 1 tower up top. So good work from him. Yeah, I'm really curious how FY is going to use this Nature's Call. I feel like the best way to use it is actually to wait until a big team fight is happening, use the Nature's Call as you normally would, And not only could you kill the heroes, and that would be great, getting the damage in the team fight like a Zeus ulti, but if you are able to wipe out DK, then you have 3 lanes that are pushing in hardcore with the treants, and they won't respawn fast enough to farm those trees. So we're going to see the Nether Ward clip some damage on the Invoker, but still some good spells. Oh, wow! Almost taking down the Lion. But they do kill the Pugna. 3v1. Oh, wow. Sniper going to get fissured under Ice's natural order, and he gets clubbed in the face. Hardcore. But yeah, the Ice Spirit actually almost killed Lion just because he used his Finger of Death under the level 1 Nether Ward. If that Nether Ward was... Actually, it's level 3. Well, okay. So it just is not as high of a mana cost spell at level 1. The Finger of Death mana scaling goes 200, 420, 650. So really jumps up at level 2 as far as return damage from Nether Ward. Fisher coming out. Gonna do the Echo Stomp this time. It will connect. Look at that short cast time. That cast time, those 0.2 seconds, make a huge difference and how reliable that spell has become. Echo Stomp OP, I would say. Man, that is... We're gonna see a lot more Elder Titan. Just looking at that for the very first time, seeing how fast 1.6 seconds is compared to 1.8, like that is, you're going to catch so many more people with that kind of a stomp. Really a nice buff to this hero, but he's still going to be building up. Hand of Midas, actually. I thought he might go for like the Yules to kind of still go for easy setup, but he goes for Hand of Midas. It's Midas Gaming for Vici Gaming. They've got 2, Invoker's got 1. And yeah, obviously good Echo Slam usage from Fenrir there to finish off the Phantom Lancer at the tail end of that engagement. So the Quelling Blade's out for Leone. I think he might be the only one though, and he's gonna actually get cut up by just everything else. Looking, just nukes down, and he's still asleep. How are you still asleep against all those spells? But in the end, yeah, he falls with the last right click pursuing him. The Force Staff was a nice play from 290, but it was insufficient to keep him alive. They just need better tools to respond. We're going to look at mid. How gets the Yule Scepter, catches out. Okay, look, he's trapped in the trees. He's staying in the trees with this Sprout, and there's no way he gets away. But all these TPs rotating in, they're going to get some return kills. First the Shadow Fiend, and with the Laguna Blade, they next get the Nature's Prophet. Tower pressure on the bottom, and they're going to be able to bring that down. Nice for Vici Gaming to take advantage of those opportunities, but still better for DK to be able to get that kill exchange. Not only, I mean, they couldn't save the sniper, of course, he's way too squishy for that, but punishing that aggression, that tower dive coming in for Vici.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And it looks like it is going to be the Guardian's Greaves build from Super. At the very least, Mech Arcanes, which used to be standard, and then we'll see how long he waits to build it up to the full array. Meanwhile, we do see FY. He's building up his last item. 1 Midas Transmute away from Ag Scepter. He goes up top, he transmutes a Centaur, and he gets an Aghanim's. Beautiful. So this is going to be interesting to see exactly how effective this is. It is a level 2 Nature's Call, so it should be last hitting quite a few creeps. They do have some good observer wards up too. Some great map control coming in from Vici Gaming. Looking for maybe a play against Black, but they don't have any blinks or anything, so they need the Yules to come in from the side. I don't see that happening. FY gets out before 290 is able to run at him with the Ghost Walk. And we'll see where he makes his move next. He's got a couple trees here scouting things out, but we'll see how his micro skills work when he starts getting, you know, like dozens of trees across the entire map. Oh, the Nature's Call, giving them the super tree. 84 damage from this Nature's Call tree. We've also got a bunch of trees up top, a few in mid, pushing in from all angles. The Aghanim Scepter already starting to take effect. This is a 1600 HP Greater Treant. Oh my, look at this tree. He's got to do some work. Right click him down. No, he falls just to the Nether Blast during the Decrepify. They natural order plus Decrepify, great enhancement tools for that blast. But yeah, up top, not microing. FY having some issues with the new micro skills. In fact, he's just sitting here trying to get it all figured out. But I think the best way to micro these trees actually is to have a unified unit order where you just A-click the fountain, the enemy fountain. What that would end up doing is if you have any trees at the proper half of the lane, on the offensive half of the lane, on the enemy side of the river, they'll all just start going down the lane as they're supposed to. It doesn't really work for any treants that would spawn in the jungle, but generally speaking, you send that unified unit order, and if they're past the river, they should be just marching down the lane. So, gonna have some big micro skills coming in from FY because he's got a lot of trees to work with now. He's gonna be moving pretty quickly towards level 16 too. The one concern, of course, is that again you feed a lot of gold. Those trees still feed gold, maybe experience. I forget, but you have to worry about that. Still, Nature's Call comes through. We're gonna see some trees spawn down bottom, some good damage in mid, and some trees spawn up top.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Greater treants spawn from illusions? Are you kidding me? Is that for real? There's no way. There is no way you get greater treants from illusions of the Phantom Lancer. That is freaking amazing. I feel that needs to be fixed. That needs a nerf. That's a 6.84B change. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. You get triple damage, triple HP trees from killing off Phantom Lancer's illusions. That's just nonsense. Like, I think this good composition is good just in general. Like, the Elder Titan enhances and they got all this long range nuke. Great. But you get to friggin' split push with super trees across the map because a PL happens to have illusions up in the lane? Like, that's just nonsense. That is absolutely insane. And we're going to see this clash come through. They got the Roche, but they might not leave easily. Here's the Sprout locking the line. He's certainly dead. But we're going to see nice jump in from Ice here. Try to go for the Echo Stomp. Once the Soul Ring cools down, no, it's not going to be in time. It's FY on the front line. The right click's delivered. Hal blinks in, and they will clean up 3. Vici Gaming take down the Sniper, Lion, and Invoker. And FY gets a double kill. They get another Nature's Call out, more trees for the fire, and they're going to keep on pushing in. There's a greater treant for you. So they're going to push in, tier 3, going down pretty quickly here, and nobody to really respond. Han's got really limited counter push, and there is another ward outside the base. So, there's going to be Hal going in, looking for the Requiem, saved it for that last fight, but Leonly will just be able to go for the Doppelganger out of it. So, does get clipped by a couple souls, but definitely not max damage. And they're going to look to retreat pretty soon. Don't even finish the tier 3. And ZP coming in. Very hot. This might be a little bit too aggressive here. You're gonna be caught by the Decrepify. They'll be warding him off. How? Actually in a bad spot now. How is in a terrible position, but he's got the Yules. He'll rejoin his allies. The Echo Stomp hits onto 2. Phantom Lancer without Doppelganger caught inside the Sprout. No quelling. He has a Quelling Blade. He's just not using it. Anyways, blink forward from the Lion, trying to connect on Ice. He jukes it, though, and he will keep moving. The Echo Stomp connects onto 1, but you can't run from the Sniper here. Assassinate, Dragon Slave. He's still alive. He's still got 100 HP. It's going to be the blink forward from the Lion to finish him off. Hex? Anything? He had both his spells off cooldown. He used neither of them, and then the Guardian Greaves come out from Super. It may cost Super his life, though. Oh, the Nether Blast, the Magic Stick. He stays alive. And they turn it back around. I can't believe it. The Fisher and the Rays and the right clicks actually killing off all these squishy heroes in the river. They bait them across the entire map. Looks like FY is about to go down, but the Invoker gets caught up in the tornado and chain stunned. Oh my gosh, Vici Gaming have just run a train all over DK, and they just GG off of that. They haven't lost a single tier 3, but they're GGing because they just know that how desperately outplayed they just got. A 5-man wipe in the end, saving the life of both Pugna and Nature's Prophet at the last second. The Guardian's Greave, the Magic Stick, doing every little bit to keep them alive. Pugna, with that low of HP, becomes Timbersaw with the 15 HP and armor regen of Guardian's Greaves, and he narrowly survives a ton of ganks. Elder Titan walks away from it too. Just incredible. Just absolutely incredible team play coming in for Vici Gaming. The fact that not a single one of them died. Yeah, I mean, DK were overextending a bit, but they were pretty much guaranteed at least a kill, and they didn't get a single damn thing. That was incredible. But the end result is Vici Gaming victorious at 22 minutes. Another quick win for them. Ice's KDA is actually 0-0-13 as he works towards his soul booster. Well, I have no idea if there's any value in Octarine or if it's a troll pickup, but could have just been the Bloodstone with the soul ring he already had. Who friggin' knows? What I do know is that this was a really great game for Vici Gaming. They used their skills really well. We got to see some new things with the Nature's Prophet and a few imbalances with those illusions spawning super trees. But yeah, it's a pretty good game. Vici Gaming rocking it, taking down DK 2-0 and not even breaking a sweat. They are looking really good. I mean, we knew that they were the top tier in China, But the fact that they're winning 6.84 so convincingly shows that they're adapting to the metagame faster than most teams that I've seen, and that means they're going to be looking good for lands, which are coming up in just a couple weeks, guys. The Summit 3 hype! But yeah, that's going to be wrapping up Vici Gaming's participation in iLeague today. We're going to be going into a Vici list match for our next one. So that was Vici Gaming versus DK, still looking up what we're going to be going into next. But we got another 2-game series on hand for the group stage here in iLeague China. And yeah, I mean, this was a pretty fun game. This was a very fast tempo. I'm really just enjoying watching firsthand what Vici Gaming are bringing to it. And the next match is going to be Hyper Glory Team versus Tongfu Wenzhou. That's going to be coming up in perhaps 35 minutes. The admin wants to bring in the new team ASAP, and that will be great if we can, just kind of speed things along. But it isn't technically scheduled for another 35 minutes. Vici Gaming just too quick for the schedule here. Anyways, thanks for tuning in once again. I am Blaze. If you enjoyed the commentary, look me up on twitter.com/BlazeCasting. And yeah, that's going to be a short break here. Hopefully shorter than 35 minutes before we get into our third game for iLeague today. Once again, check out BeyondTheSummit.tv for their coverage hub for all things BTS. And we'll see you guys for the next game coming up within the next half hour.